Hey everybody, welcome to the Going with Fishes podcast. I'm Steve. I got Dorian here with me this week. We also got Old Fart Grows camping out over here in the corner.
What's up, guys?
And then we also got Brain Grow.
What's up, guys?
We got Fish Ganja Guy.
I don't know if you were talking about me. You were cutting out there.
He was.
And we got Marty.
Hello.
And we got Roger.
Hello, everybody.
And so this week, so we had a guest. The guy from Super Thrive was supposed to be on. He had a last-minute issue. Had to cancel on us last minute. So he's going to be on here again soon. Apparently, they actually have an aquaponic study that they've been doing, and he wants to talk to us. I guess they'll finish up their research study at the end of the month, so he wants to come back on once they have that done. So we'll have him on in January, and that'll be really exciting. So we figured we'd go over kind of stuff people would be interested in buying, or kind of going into the next year. What are kind of the takeaways from the last year, and what kind of the products or things that maybe you want to do with your garden that you want to kind of take away for next year as far as gardening practices or products. So I'll let Roger go first. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, great. Well, my thoughts are is I've been doing a lot of the work with the flower power fertilizer from Robert Bergman has from I Love Growing Marijuana. I'm getting excellent results with that. And one of our other panelists that are on sometimes Hogmaster, he turned me on to the fact that you could get a whole free kit, the entire nutrient system from, here we go. Hold on, I'll tell you. Okay, it's just, yeah, you get a whole kit. It's see, I can't have my glasses and I wasn't prepared for this, so but it's Nectar of the Gods. So Nectar of the Gods sends you a whole box for the cost of shipping, and then you can try. So that's what I'm going to be doing next. I'm going to be doing a side-by-side with our flower power nutrients against Nectar of the Gods. So and I'm going to be starting an aquaponic system this year. And as far as something for Christmas, buy them a volcano vaporizer. I don't know.
There you go. I take that.
Digital. If you really love them, get them the digital model.
What anything else you found from last year? Any other grow practices? Any other products?
Well, pretty much. I've been pretty much doing my experiments all year with the Pro Mix and the simple grows in order to help our new members at ilovegrowingmarijuana.com establish an ability to grow without being too complicated. So all my growing this past year has been simply Pro Mix and nutrients and keeping the pH all and experimenting with how Pro Mix worked, and I've been very happy with it. And I grew hydroponics for 12 years. But to be honest with you, I really got tired of having to, because I had to move my room too. And so I don't have it's not as convenient. And it just got to be toting the water or not toting the water, whatever, just having the water and dealing with it all the time with a lot of stuff that I've been going through with health issues. And I am legally blind. I just got tired of having to do all the extra work that hydroponic me to do it at the level I do it. So I still have my hydroponic greenhouse stuff for vegetables, and we're going to be getting that up this coming year. It hadn't been up for a couple of years since I had some health issues, but so I don't really have a lot to talk about except for that I have checked this out, and I'm very, very happy to say that after all these years of doing every different kind of hydroponic system I could ever build, and every kind of soil mix that I could contrive, I found that I'm in love with it. I've got some of the best cannabis flower that I've ever had in my entire career, just growing with the flower power nutrients and Pro Mix. So one thing I learned is that I still had experiments to finish up with, but I think we're going to go and keep that right on that same line, but we're going to be starting to add silica and some Mammoth P. So that's the two things I'm going to change after the first of the year. My current project will probably be finished around the end of January. So starting in February, I'll probably do a side-by-side with Flower Power and against the Nectar of the Gods. And I will also be doing I'll be adding to the Flower Power, because Nectar Gods has all this stuff, I believe. I will be adding Silica and Mammoth P to get some microbiology going, and so try that and see if that enhances the Pro Mix, the simplicity. But right now I've got a lot of people following me, and I've learned that when I decided to do this and I had good results and I shared it, I've got a ton of members on the forum that are growing this way. And then I'm going to be experimenting with the lactobacillus in the coming year. And also it's just a matter of space for me more than anything. I'm not going to have 6 different experiments going at one time. So it's kind of like one of those deals. I'm in a less than legal state, so if I grow allegedly, it's kind of a I can get myself in trouble. So anyway, with that said, that's about it. I'm going to be trying the ferments and stuff, which I haven't got around to, but I'm kind of waiting to get a decent a little aquaponic setup this spring. So probably about March, we'll start talking about me building some kind of aquaponic system, and then I'll be able to further experiment even more, I think, with the ferments and the labs and stuff like that once I get set up. Once I realize how many fish and I can get them and keep them alive, we'll start having a lot more fun, So that's about it for me. I've had a crappy year, so I might as well get my crappy year out of the way, So
on to the next, right?
So what about you, Brain Grow? What have your takeaways from last year? What are your products that you think were really awesome you came across this year? The grow methods, any other knowledge, maybe guests or anything else that you learned a lot from this year?
Well, to be honest, I don't know about really grow methods. I know one thing I'm looking forward to getting myself for Christmas, since we're on that subject, was the Rosinier. I think it's called like an MV2 rosin press, and that sells for around like $400 for Amazon. And also wanted to shout out True Aquaponics. Again, since we're on the subject of purchasing things for Christmas, if you know of anyone that has aquaponic hobbyist in the family, send them to True Aquaponics, because they do offer free shipping and their prices are better than pretty much most anywhere else you can find that offers aquaponic nutrients or anything like that. But one thing that I'm getting started on working on is my kitchen aquaponic system. I actually just ordered some seeds. I'm going to be growing like a small little head style lettuce called Dragoon. I ordered some stevia seeds. Let's see what else. Lemongrass, red cabbage, and some other stuff to put in my kitchen. So I'm looking forward to starting that up. I'm also going to be moving on with my pumpkin experiments. I ran into a little problem of just adding the dried up pumpkin into my system, pushing the pH up. I think that's what pushed my pH up, because I also add in calcium, magnesium, and potassium in the form of carbonates. So I try to use that to stabilize my pH, but I think the pumpkin drove it up. So I'm going to be working a little bit more with that, doing more fermenting with that to see if I can still use that, but without the side effect of buffering my pH up. But I don't know, I've really this year started doing a lot more dual root zone, and right now I'm having awesome results with that. So I'm really trying to dual root zone everything from here going forward. That's one of my big takeaways from this year, because it seems like so effortless whenever you do dual root zone in aquaponics, and you get so much better results. I think that's about it, though.
I don't.
It's cool.
All right.
Kitchen grow.
What about you, Fish Ganja guy?
Can you repeat the question?
So what are your like takeaways from the last year, grow technique wise, and then product wise, and then maybe like guests or you know, anything else as far as the last year?
Let's see. Some of my takeaways are aquaponics are definitely better than soil. Spectrum King lights are just crushers. I learned that a pH of like 5.2 is perfect for aquaponics. Let's see what else.
With your 2-plant system in 5 gallons.
Fish love it.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's sarcasm.
That's pretty much all I took away from this year.
Yeah, I want to say, jump in. I'm also with the Spectrum King. I was blown away by the excellent conversations we had with them this year too. So I agree with Fish on that, and I'm looking forward to talking with them to get my custom-made Frankenstein set up from them. So, you know,
Yeah,
I can't
got
wait.
some really cool stuff coming out soon. Before I left California, I swung by their factory just to take a look at a few things and pick up a couple parts. And their low-profile flower lights and the low-profile veg lights are just, and I can't stress enough how cool they're going to be once they hit the market.
I'm excited for that low-profile flower lights. I think that'll be
especially
for us people who don't have a whole lot of headroom to grow in.
Dude, these things are like 2.5 inches, like thick. It's ridiculous. And there's something about them that I was shown, but I don't know if it's something they've announced about them. So I can't really say it on air, but it's pretty badass what they're going to be doing with these things.
Well, you could. They just might sue you. It'd be all right.
Well, there's that. Well, no, I didn't sign an NDA, so. But no, I'm not going to say anything. I try better than that.
Right on.
But
Portland,
yeah, and then Christmas gifts. If anybody's looking to get me something nice, Mountainside Glass, mtnsideglass.com is always a good spot. Coupon code dude.
Yeah, if you want to see what the low-profile lights look like by Spectrum King, you go look at Steve and Tommy's video at the California convention, and they visited the booth. And Brendan gave us a great they had a little video and gave us a great explanation about them, and actually showed them in a 4-foot, just your typical 4-foot metal stand like you'd have in a kitchen, you know, or in a grow warehouse. And they're little lights, and it's like they're on a piece of angle iron almost is what it looks like, you know. And so that's about it. They're about that tall, you know. So that is going to be really cool for people, especially doing low stress training and stuff like that. I've got a couple applications. I might be able to turn in some really neat grow places if I could procure some of those low profile lights too. I'll tell you.
Yeah, especially when somebody's doing like a vertical grow, and they're just got to stack them. I mean, that's going to be key.
For sure.
And with the power they're going to be putting out on the low profile, the low profile flower lights, I mean, you're going to be able to get some serious yields on those. Like they're going to be pumping some wattage.
They also have a 602, a 402, and a 102 that are like beefed up versions of their old lights. Better lenses, better chips, slightly more power, like 10 more watts of power. But goddamn, are they fucking awesome. I got a chance to see a bunch of those in Vegas. So
yep,
I'm sure
I've got one of the new SK the 402s. I've got the new board in mind, so that was something I made sure to take care of before I left California, was to pay to upgrade my 400 to the new 400, so that way I could be rocking and rolling when I got up here with board that I could. So we'll see how it works out.
Awesome. So what about you, Marty?
Oh, I definitely have to agree on the lights. You know, the Spectrum King lights we were just talking about. You know, that'd be cool. And then, you know, if somebody's looking to start out on a system, you know, like Roger was talking about, you know, wanting to buy some kind of system to get together, you know, you can pick up, you know, just a regular old fish tank is always a good thing to start out with, to be able to do something with, or maybe some like 55-gallon poly barrels would be, you know, a good blank slate for somebody to start out with. So that might be kind of cool. They're not overly expensive. So, you know, those might be some good ideas. True Aquaponics, like he talked about, they have nutrient kits. You know, those would obviously be useful to just about anybody, you know, where you get a little, you know, a little bit of everything. It's kind of like a maintenance kit that they have. And
Cool.
so that'd be pretty neat, I think. And, or starter systems, you know, like that's another thing that he likes to help people is, you know, get their systems up and going. And, you know, he talked about them being a good price. And not only that, but you know, everything is going to be pretty thoroughly checked over to make sure it's fish safe in a relatively sustainable source. And he'll know where it comes from. Like it's not only a good price, but I feel like it's also well researched and supported. You can ask questions on the Facebook group and get an answer relatively quickly. So I definitely won't, you know, feel like if you're going to look for nutrients or something like that to get, that's a great option. Some cool fish might be cool if you've already got an existing system, you know, like some neat looking koi or something like that to add in, you know, might be a nice little feature, or any type of plants like we talked about. You mentioned you're going to throw in some stevia. I grew some stevia outdoor one year, man. It took over like an entire NFT system, just went crazy. So it should grow gangbusters.
Awesome.
And so seeds are always, you know, they're super cheap, you know, so if you don't have a lot of money to spend, you can buy like a whole bunch of different kinds of seeds, you know, and you can find those just about anywhere, like your local co-op, you know, they usually have like, you know, like heirloom tomatoes. There's usually all kinds of different varieties of those. So if you're looking for somebody who's a gardener, you can always do that, or cannabis seeds. I mean, there's always that, or cannabis, you know, you can never go wrong with a jar full of weed. Especially if you're in a legal state. If you're in a less than legal state, then maybe not. Probably goes more like a bag of weed. So let's see. Besides that, what else do you need? Like, there's always accessory stuff you could do, like you know, a temperature gauge or a pH monitor, or you know, there's, as anybody who's done aquaponics very long will attest to, there's plenty of stuff to spend your money on in terms of that, or even just growing cannabis, everything from nutrient lines to you know, the pH pins or tubs.
Yeah, get your spouse a Blue Lab truncheon or a Blue Lab multi, you know, they will be very happy with you at Christmas. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it kind of depends on what you don't already have, right? I mean,
Yep. What don't they have? They always talk about, boy, I wish I had an exhaust fan. I mean, that's not expensive either. They're always complaining about heat.
Sure.
A lot of people don't have exhaust fan, you know, proper exhaust systems hooked up, and
yeah, a good cyclone fan, for instance, you know, or like a, you know, not even necessarily the brand, but the, you know, the canister fans, you know, those are always pretty easy to hook up, and you know, we'll move a lot of air for, you know, what, like 60 to 120 bucks in there somewhere for a 4 to 6 inch fan, depending on what size you need. And most grow shops anymore will help you figure out, you know, they got a little chart where you can look up for the square footage of your room, how much you need and all that. So you can definitely ask them for that.
Uh-oh, we lost Marty.
I'm still here.
Okay, well, you froze for a minute. Okay.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the simple formula too for you people on that is you take you do your square footage times your height of the room, and that's how many, and then you divide that into your cubic feet per minute, however long you want to take to exhaust. If you want to exhaust the room in 5 minutes, then you do it like that, and it'll tell you how big of a fan you need by dividing the cubic foot by how many minutes you want to exhaust it, and that'll tell you the CFM of the fan you need, whether it be a 4-inch or 6-inch. And honestly, if you're going to run it all the time, you don't need as big a one. You know, that's something people don't realize. They go, I'll run it all the time. Then you don't need an 8-inch, you know, because you got to let the CO2 gather in the room a little bit, you know, so you really shouldn't be running it all the time. I'm sorry we're getting on that. I guess we don't have nothing else to talk about tonight.
No, that's all right.
But Yeah, anything like that. I mean, there's so many cool things that actually now today with Amazon and all, like you say, you know, and I like to see that, like aquaponics, people going to true aquaponics, but with the things you can buy now, it's so cheap to buy a lamp system, or, you know, well, not a really, really nice Spectrum King lamp system, but I mean, it's really cheap to buy other HID digital lamp systems, and it's real cheap to buy fans and carbon filters now.
Did she tell you don't need an 8-inch?
You asking me?
Yeah.
You telling me she didn't need 8-inch? Okay. Steve's in rare form tonight, folks. We're just the porno Christmas show. You know.
Right,
so, yeah. And I thought of something when Marty was talking about aquaponics stuff. Like, here's something really cool that I love that most people don't even know about, but I got turned onto it through commercial hydroponics. And that's an ART recycling timer. And if you guys do aquaponics, and you can set this up to water every 4 seconds for 4 seconds, or you can set it up to water every 4 hours for 40 minutes, or every 40 minutes for an hour or two, you know, whatever you want to set up with, up to a, you know, it's got a photo cell on it. You can use it indoors. So instead of having to fiddle fart with all those other timers and such like that, get yourself an ART recycling timer. They're like $80 on the line, 80 to 90 bucks. You'll be so happy when the lights come on, the water comes on. And then you don't have to think. And then you just have to figure out how long you want it to water, which you change. That's something we don't discuss much. But when your plants are smaller, you don't water them as often or as much or for as long. As they get bigger, they require more liquid, you know, more solution. So then you can change that recycling timer to water for a longer period of time, or to run the pumps for a longer period of time. You know, so that's something I think is real cool for anybody that's doing hydroponics or aquaponics, would be an ART recycle timer. Yeah, lovely tool.
That's pretty cool. I run mine 24/7, so because mine are on a siphon system, my plant just stays on all the time. But I mean, I guess I'm not sure. I feel like there is a definite difference when I run the siphon system. You know, everything grows faster and better, but I think you could probably mimic it in the same way you're talking about with the cycle timer, where it's just, you know, cycling water in and out. But mine are constantly running, and I could probably save some power by using a timer like that. But then my pump turns on and off also. So I don't know.
Yeah, but how much of I find you don't really need, for an ebb and flow situation, you don't need a big giant pump for that. I run a very small pump on my ebb and flow systems because I can. I mean, it's not like I have to have it fill up in 2 seconds. I let it fill up, and when it fills up, then I watch until it fills up. That's when I set my timer for. But I would have to ask you, it's good. I love these chats we have like this, is don't you think it's important to to turn the water off and allow the roots to get more oxygen?
Well, because mine run on a siphon system, the water is always going up and coming down and going up and coming down.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I gotcha. The thought is that it acts as like an air diaphragm, where it pushes the air out and then pulls air in. And so it gets a faster air exchange in the roots, as opposed to just running it on a timer for, like, say 45 minutes and then letting it drain and have exposure to air for a constant amount of time, and then water for a constant amount of time. Just constantly cycling back and forth.
That's pretty neat. I'll have to look into that siphoning system, because we haven't really shown that on the program, I don't think. So, or talked about that before. But yeah, because we do. We pretty much teach people as a benchmark to start off with ebb and flow, like water for 45 minutes and be off for 15, or water for 15 and be off for 45. It just depends. To me, it depends on the size of the plant more than anything.
And that'll totally work too. I think my second grow I did that way on a timer, where that's the only time it ran, and then I had air stones in the tank for the fish. So you can definitely do it that way, no problem. But I feel like that I get better, faster growth with a siphon system, as opposed to just a straight, like, flood and drain on the timer. And
is everybody using that same siphon system on the panel? Every one of you guys are aquaponics. Are y'all using siphoning systems?
Bell siphon, baby.
I use a drain away system.
Use bell siphon, or I use index timers, one or the other.
So you do it both ways.
So the only difference really is our method of siphon. Like they use a bell siphon, and I use an external or loop siphon, whatever you want to call it. But the idea is the same. So my beds cycle about every 10 minutes. They fill up and drain every 10 minutes.
Cool. And so when it drains, does it drain all the way out?
It drains all the way until it sucks air through the hose and breaks the siphon. So it'll pull air through the drain, and once it pulls a big enough bubble, it breaks the siphon, and the bed fills up again, and then starts draining. Kind of like it makes it sound like when you flush the toilet, basically.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah. That's the siphon.
So then you actually could use a timer and go 10 on and 10 off and 10 on and 10 off, except that you'd be starting your pump on and off. And
you'd have to make sure that your drain didn't slow down so much so that you would start overflowing within that 10 minutes. Means, obviously you just gotta, when you're doing with a timer, you just gotta make sure, because if you turn your water on at a certain flow rate and you don't have enough drainage for it, then it's gonna overflow your beds. So eventually it will slow down.
I run a secondary drain up to the top, like just in a tub, just like in a tub or a sink.
Sure.
I have a thing when it gets up this high, it can't flood the table anymore. It drains back out of a big hose.
Yeah, if you're doing an indoor grow, especially if you're doing a one in a less than legal area, it's definitely the way to go.
Yeah, you don't want that thing gurgling like somebody's flushing the toilet in the extra bedroom every 10 minutes, right?
Well, you don't need some issue when you're not home. You don't need to be like at work or some shit, and your thing overflows, and then suddenly they find out you're by your grow.
So I guess the other benefit I get from running mine 24/7 is that my siphon, all my drains are angled so that they, like the hose ends here, and so that when the water is draining out, it's creating aeration, just passive aeration from draining back down into the tank like a waterfall. And so I don't run any air stones in my system, because every 10 minutes or so they get aeration from the siphon.
Yeah. Right.
So if you don't do that, I would recommend you run air stones in your reservoir, in your tank. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, I'll just daydream about how, because I use when I use my ebb and flows, I use 5-gallon buckets under out of I use a little tiny pump, and then I run a 3/4 inch drain hose out of it. Like I said, you got your fill side of your ebb and flow and your drain side, and I run a 3/4 inch to a 1 inch on that side back into the bucket. So it does the same thing. As it's coming out, it's splashing in the water and making it's a passive, it's oxygenating the water, or however you want to say it,
Right. And so I think the other way that you can do that too is if you don't, like a lot of times in ebb and flow situations, you don't have a waterfall situation, like your buckets might be sitting on the floor, for instance, so you don't have a lot of height for it to drain back down. So if you want to create another passive form of aeration, you can do like a venturi, or you can even take, if you have, and put in a T relatively close to the water and angle it down in, and then use all of your extra pressure, almost like a bleed off. So it's just spraying at an angle right down into the water to aerate it like that. So that way anytime your water turns on, it will also be cycling aeration back in, just to the waterfall.
It's funny you said that. I did something similar one time. My feed line, I had such a power. I had a little giant 250 mag drive, and that sucker blow like a hose,
Right.
I punched some holes in the side of the 1/2-inch poly and let them spray all inside the reservoir when it was running. It still filled up everything with plenty of pressure, but then you got water spraying all over on the inside of the res, providing oxygen that way too. That works. That also works in you can use that same kind of idea in aeroponics if you want to. Same kind of thing, just same as you see people drilling 1 million holes in PVC for their aeroponics, and I just take a 1/2-inch black poly and poke holes in it, pinholes in it, and then run it on pressure, and that you get killer. You want it misting more than you want big droplets anyway, so you just punch some little holes with a pick, any one of those little steel picks, or like a mechanic's pick or anything like that. And it works like gangbusters. I've become I'm a big fan of black poly. Use it in my well. I know I don't run any white PVC anymore. I run black poly. Like around the farm, I can only have to bury it, 6 inches to a foot. Run it from my well, bury it over to the greenhouse, bury it over, and it saves you a lot of trouble from having to I'll get all these pieces of PVC. You just buy a 100-foot piece of that stuff. It's great. It's cheap too. When you want to do plumbing, a lot of people don't realize it. You can save a lot of money if you look into black poly, and all the fittings fit and join with PVC and stuff.
Right, and
you can get adapters
for black poly are way cheaper too. Like especially if you guys start buying like elbows or nozzles or like any little adapters, they're all way more expensive for PVC than they are for black poly.
It really matters.
That's right. So there's another good get. You could do a big roll of black poly, some adapters, like some tees,
or some white. That white. What's it called? the Ultra Scrim, Durascrim.
There you go, Durascrim. Yeah.
Another good one.
You can buy it by the foot through Aquaponics. At least he was doing that. I don't know if he still is.
I don't know. We have to hit him up. Maybe he'll sell it off the back of his truck or something.
There you go. And I think a roll of it is about $320 or $30 or something like that.
So other good ones, a gift certificate to Orkin, or one of the other sites that has pest control stuff, or a bottle of Kapow, or what's the other one? Optic Foliar. Optic Foliar is pretty good.
Yeah, you're hitting the kind of stuff I was thinking. Optic Foliar, Mammoth P,
Yeah, Mammoth
it'd have been great to have the new Super Thrive guy on here tonight to go, buy some Super Thrive for your aquaponic system.
Recharge is pretty good.
Hey, we mentioned glass, and I also want to mention when I just, because I broke my bong not that long ago, I had to go buy another one. And so when I was there, they had these like silicone ones, like flexible, like the same kind of stuff these are made out of. And they're like, it's an entire bong with a glass insert, so you can still use glass on glass, but you couldn't break it if you wanted to. Like, it's completely flexible, and it's pretty crazy. So if you have somebody, I'm thinking for a travel piece, I'm still gonna buy one. I didn't buy one then because I was a little concerned about it, but I've been thinking about it. I'm gonna have to try one out and just see how it goes. I don't know if any of you guys have seen those or used them, but they look pretty cool.
I've always found that
travel piece. I have a giant ass glass travel piece with a really nice pouch that it goes in. So this is one of the other things I want to mention. We had them on the show last week or the week before.
Oh, yeah.
This is a vapor slide. It's because it can go upside down in your dab rig, or you can just hit it. Whatever. I don't know. This one might even be charged. We'll see.
Takes 5 to turn it on. There you go. Then one hold it
with the ceramic. Yeah.
But anyways, really nice vapor pen. Has a really cool like magnetic cartridge. The other ones you usually get are this is a magnetic cartridge, easy to refill. I don't know. Again, we're not any kind of paid sponsor. It just happens to be. We've been to a lot of shows this last year, and this is honestly the one that we like the best.
I bought 4 of them.
So, yeah, I mean, between Tommy and I think we have 5 of them between the 2 of us. So,
the price is good too. I don't remember what they said, but I remember when they told us last week the price was.
I think it's like $60 or whatever. They're super great for a vape pen, especially if you're into the oil stuff and you don't mind loading cartridges. Super dope.
Now, I'm still in the Stone Age because I'm in this less than legal state, so I don't have $500 dab rigs and stuff. So y'all have to pardon me while I torch some flour here.
Allegedly.
Fashion way.
Oh, yeah. I see some flour now.
Yeah, now my lighter takes a crap on me.
Hey, Tommy.
Ah,
Remember that Gorilla Glue you were checking out in my garage when you were here?
oh yeah,
That's it right there, buddy.
that's pretty stout.
Is that from the Blurple light?
This individual bud was from the Vivid Grow. Let me grab it. This was from the Blurple.
Do you get Blurple high when you smoke it?
You know, it all smokes about the same, I have to admit. I don't really know this difference. I mean, it's definitely,
You don't see Blurple colors after doing it, do you?
no, that'd be cool. Those were the
I
other
have-
bags, right?
Yeah, I have a few drops I could put on there. I could fix that.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Allegedly.
So the only thing I would say about the Blurple lights versus the Vivid Grow light is that they're definitely not as dense, or the individual flowers are not as large, but so maybe just a little fluffier and not as heavy. But other than that, obviously it still smokes great, and super happy with it. And altogether, I had about 280 grams off of the Gorilla Glue and about 190 off of the Shishka Berry. So not too bad.
Yeah, shishka berry is always kind of fluffier anyway, though, yeah?
It's lanky. It came out really solid this time in terms of density, but it definitely doesn't stack like the Gorilla Glue, or I mean the Gorilla Glue is kind of chunky, but it still stacks pretty well. Whereas, which I guess it's got a lot of node space, but it's really berry flavored. It's very blueberry dominant.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
But it came out really well too. Yeah, I got some of that. Oh, and I have this is some Bubba Kush,
Bubba.
pre-98 Bubba Kush, and then this is some Jaeger, which is purple Hindu Kush.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Merry
So
Christmas.
some other cool gift ideas. I know if you have someone that's a grower, maybe they're colorblind, and they're into aquaponics. I know all the Hannah checkers all work with color blindness. They give a digital readout. So if you do have a colorblind relative or someone that struggles with certain colors in the color spectrum, it can be a great option to help them still be able to enjoy. I know I used to sell a lot of those for that reason. What else?
Tell us about that again, because you kind of went by it, and if you don't know what you're talking about, we don't know what you were telling us to get, really.
Sure. So they're a digital tester. You can test a whole wide range of different nutrients depending on which one you get. It's called Hannah, Hanna, Hanna, and they're a really cool company. They make refractometers that you can check, a wide range of different nutrients in the water, depending on what you're trying to check. And can be great. Another good testing company, if you're looking for something like that, or testing equipment or gift certificate or something like that, is Lamotte, Lamotte. They're a Canadian-based testing company. They're really awesome. They have a lot of really cool testing equipment.
Okay.
I
wondered who that was.
Yep.
Because I've used Milwaukee all my career. I've got some Hannah, but the Hannah that I've got is actually from Dummy. It just measures iron.
Yep. Well, the Hannah Iron Checker is a really good one.
That's what I mean, especially for aquaponics. That'd be a real cool something they wouldn't expect. So, what do they call those meters that only measure the individual minerals?
Well, the way that it checks it is called a refractometer, but I don't know if there's a particular name for the individual digital checkers.
Okay, Dummy had it. He called it something that was I can't recall. I got a refractometer. It's not a Hannah, but I've got one.
Oh yeah, refractometers are a little different, but they use refraction. They shine light through it, and
right.
That's why it's important you don't use EDTA. or EDHA iron, because it will give you false readings when you check it on a Hannah.
Interesting.
So, yep.
EDTA, EDHA.
Yep, those two will give you false readings. That's why you don't want to use them. One of the reasons. There's a couple others, but so other cool stuff would be, you know, like we talked a little bit Orkin.com and a couple of other, was it organic control? There's a couple of other beneficial insect websites, you know, gift certificate to something like that. It's really cool. Nutrients, again, True Aquaponics is really cool. There's a couple of others. Was it Alpha Chemicals? I think is the other good one on depending on the amount of bulk you're trying to do.
You can go to ilovegrowingmarijuana.com and get the flower power fertilizer. Both it comes in an organic line where you amend your soil medium or your soilless medium, and it comes in a water soluble. And they have a starter kit that starts around $40, and you can grow 2 to 4 plants with that starter kit, and without getting into a ton of money. And check that out too. Not to mention the killer genetics that we pass along from Amsterdam. Nobody ever minds getting some high quality genetics. So we got a really nice line of stuff, and we're improving it every day. So
that's his line in court. No one minds getting a nice line of genetics.
I just sent Brain Grow some allegedly. Allegedly, you know, he's going to get a Christmas present.
Got my terrible joke. Totally fine.
Sorry, I have to take a minute. I hear a car door outside. I don't hear any.
So other good ones, other good options out there for growers, you know, Hydrofarm, or not Hydrofarm, Real Growers, you know, Recharge has a bunch of really cool deals for Christmas. You know, they have put out a lot of education as well. Trying to think. Oh, so Spectrum King, you know, Spectrum King lights are really awesome. They really do put out the best lights that are out there. Trying to think what else is cool out there, especially from working in the industry. Seeds, rareseeds.com has a lot of really cool options. They have some gift certificates. If you have an aquaponic grower in your family and you're looking for another cool option, rareseeds.com has some just really cool seeds, like weird stuff and neat stuff, different colored stuff, oddball plants that are relatively easy to grow. Just kind of neat things to grow. Other cool ones I would suggest is you know, just fly traps or sticky, what are they called, honeydew plants or pitcher plants for aquaponic systems. Again, just remember that you need to put them in closed pots so that the root systems don't intermingle with the aquaponic system. Remember, the nitrogen in an aquaponic system is too high for a normal carnivorous plant. So they can be greatly beneficial in the fact that they do attract insects and pull them away from the other plants. But remember, they are not tolerant to the nitrogen in the system. So you do need to make sure that you're careful when you do that. What you got there, Marty?
Remember I texted you, I told you I found that brick of keef. I found it in my safe from like a year ago. Big fat chunk. I totally forgot to there.
It's finally aged hash. Is that what you're trying to say?
That's right. It's my sleepy time medicine. I'll hit that a couple of times. I look like Tommy over there.
Yep.
What's up, Tommy?
Yeah.
So, what did you learn in the last year, Tommy?
Always have everything tested before you make things out of it. It's a standard rule, unless you're an idiot. Hi, Mom. You're an idiot here. I've learned that it's really hard keeping up with all the changing landscape of all the laws. So I guess something you could get somebody for a Christmas present is a retainer with a good attorney, because good golly, things are just interesting trying to figure out how to do business here. Found out that research is like really, really good. And that there's a lot of opportunity, maybe even in things that you think are already done. I found out that it's always worth taking your time to do it right. Making like, you know, I do extracts and that kind of stuff. Some of my stuff is pretty slow, and you know, I have like people talking to me about extraction equipment, and they'll say things like, well, we can do this much in an hour. And I'm thinking, well, yeah. And I said, well, I don't mind waiting. Oh, you can't do that. The industry won't tolerate it. You have to do it fast. And I just listened for a while. Then I give them a little taste of the vape pen, and I go, well, or you could slow down and it tastes like this. And so that's something I've learned. It's also something I've learned a lot on the show is, you know, taking the time to understand your system, be prepared, setting bait plants, being ahead of nutrients so that you're not responding with chemical warfare to just basically bad growing practices. Those are some things I've learned. I don't know what to get people for presents. I'm an old fart. I don't do that kind of stuff anymore, really.
Whose products you found that helped you in the last year or two with your growing?
Oh, with my growing.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
so some of the stuff with the growing I found
or
is,
production.
the recharge. I've heard other people say that. It's worth saying again. That was a big change. Oh, one of the things I did learn about when I was doing growing, because I did a lot of water moving systems and stuff, and getting stuff for people who are doing this aquaponic kind of stuff. You can even get things just at the simple hardware store, like PVC pipe cutters and this, that, or the other thing. It's nothing too big. It shows you're thinking about, you know, their system and the kind of work that they have to do all the time. And I haven't met anybody who deals with the PVC plumbing pipe stuff that doesn't mind having an extra cutter around. You know, the little ratcheted kind of cutters. A couple light things you can always pick up are scissors, the Japanese trimming scissors. For anybody, you know, that deals with, you know, any kind of plants, but particularly the cannabis, there's no springs in them. You can work with these things all day. They are cutting fiends. They're super sharp. They're not like the American stamp blades. They're actually ground and everything. I've also found getting some Tupperware kinds of things like gallon size pitchers or strainers. You know, it never hurts to have a little strainer near the garden where you can rinse off a little bit of hydrogen or something like that. Droppers, measuring cup kinds of stuff. Getting somebody a piece of crap blender from a yard sale. Great for mixing up nutrients and making worms spin at 650 miles an hour in a little solution, whatever you want to kind of break down, mixing up different stuff. So you don't always have to just get everything from the grow store. The grow sources, you know, you might have something around that you might want to repurpose. And so if you think a little bit out of the box, maybe some cheap kitchen things, you know, whatever, is something that
like a worm bin.
Garden would have a lot of fun with.
Yeah, a worm bin I think would be great. I heard you mention worm, and that's a great idea. And think about that because I have a couple of them. I build them myself, so I like to have fun with that. But you can go to like what's that place? Is it like Uncle Jim's Worm Farm or something like that? I see that one. And I've gotten worms from them. They've always been great. I've never had an issue with it. They do have a weird shipping schedule, like they only ship on Tuesdays or some weird thing like that. But that's really so that they can make sure you get worms that are still alive. But
that's one thing to give somebody cold, but to give them worms, man, come on. You know.
Hey man, those worms.
Christmas.
They'll multiply. You could
just open up a whole can of worms in the face.
Forever, man. So especially if they're into vermicomposting, then you know. Obviously.
Hey Marty, have you gave your powder a try yet?
I've tried the powder. I'm waiting for other people to get the powder before we're going to do the live thing. I saved some. I got a few more samples.
We're finally not going to shows and everything for a while. Cross my heart, knock on wood.
We'll make sure the paper airplanes go out.
Get this stuff. And we actually got packaging to facilitate this process.
Well, see, I had planned on going like, you know, cold turkey so that I could just take it on the air. I'm already like 6 joints deep and a whole bunch of long hits. And
So you're about perfect then.
yeah, so we might as well get this rolling.
What about you, Hogmaster? What are your things in the last year? Maybe products or grow techniques or guests or anything that you think from the last year it might help people going forward? For maybe gift ideas or things like that.
Well, I know one thing that I adore that I bought was a trim bin.
Yeah,
it was
hold
just,
on, I have one. I'll be right back.
Yeah,
they're awesome because they catch all your keef that you need down through the screen. It's
That's
somewhere
exactly
where you can.
What
and
this
you
is.
know what
Yep.
makes some trim bins work perfectly? Binging on Netflix.
That would be the biggest thing I can think of that every grower should have. I mean,
A
they
subscription
just
to Netflix.
Except the screen.
Oh, wicked.
Sorry, Hog, what were you saying?
Entirely.
So here's a
there
trim
it is.
bin.
Yep.
Here you go, trim bin. So here it is. Got your spot for your hands in the front there. Right? So it looks like a normal bin. And then it transforms into the screen. See how it has screens and those are replaceable? And it sorts all of your keef.
Allegedly.
And allegedly, just dry sifts all of your trim while you're sorting it. So it can be easily collected for later use or refinement. Allegedly.
And they're highly recommended.
Yeah.
Not alleged.
They work
Not-
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Amen. I've had mine for over a year and I wish I would have bought it sooner.
Hell yeah.
Well worth it.
You will get an extra like $50 to $100 per pound trimmed off of it because it collects all that keef and sorts it by size and it just it makes your pounds more profitable. Period.
I'd have to go with that and also a rosin press. It really doesn't matter what kind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Pressing your dry sift. Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just shouting out the rosin press that you have there, Hike Master, the Rosinier earlier.
Yeah, you can't go wrong manual or pneumatic. I think the pneumatic does it all.
I was gonna say I have a pure
But-
pressure press, but it's a little more automated, a little more commercial.
Yeah, exactly. I've seen it and it's beautiful. And ain't got that kind of money. So, but
Oh yeah.
on a budget,
Yeah.
the Rosinier is
That's like-
fur right off the cat.
It's literally like 10 times the price of yours or 8 times the price of yours or something like that. So
oh, I'd go with about 15 times the price of mine. I've priced them. They're nice though. I mean,
mine went
the plates are.
bells and whistles. Mine was like 6,200.
Yep. I paid 250. So like I said, but I don't think they're going for that price now. I still think
but Steve smokes bigger dabs, so
Yeah, this is true.
he needs a bigger machine.
I need a bigger machine because I go through more per dab, you know.
And I'll tell you what, I've really been enjoying the pen that I've had for the past few months
So which pen?
to smoke my rosin. I'm using the Dream Kind pen. It's called the Kind pen, and it's the Dream edition. And they have the ceramic dishes in them. You put yourself a big old blob in it, and you can smoke on that thing for hours.
That's cool. Which is kind of like the what I was saying. You need to be able to do with the vape slide. If they had some way that you could just slap your own rosin on there and hit it, that'd be perfect.
That would have been. I've still been looking into them. I'm thinking those guys will have something before long figured out on that.
I mean, ideally you could do it with flour too, but you know, it's all good.
Yeah, here you go.
Well, there you go. That's dope.
It's got your little, it's completely filthy, but you put your material in there, you got your battery, you have your adjusted airflow, your atomizer, and then it comes with a little glass globe that is actually, it all pretty much will collect in that little area. And then you have your gaskets, and once you put it on there, it pretty well stays. Sorry, I have some dirty dishes.
Sorry.
I mean, it's just, bam, you're looking at it. They have a lifetime warranty on them, and you can pay, I think it's like $7 for shipping per unit. So it cost me, I think, $35 to get a second pin.
That's balling.
Never hurts to have a backup.
No.
Or 3.
Because you have friends, right? Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're
So here's my
nice.
vaporizer. Sorry, go ahead. I thought you were done.
Yeah, let's go right ahead, my friend.
So this is my vaporizer. It's the one I use at my desk though, so it's a plug-in. But it's called the Buddha Vape, and it's a ceramic heating element. You can see it all lit up in there. And on top, you can see that's where I have the little dab adapter, so that when you want to do dabs, it has a little thing on here. It's basically like an e-nail, so that you can drop it right down on top. I don't know if you guys can see.
Nice.
Right there. So then that basically allows you to do either one. And then for me, I have an adapter on it so that my wand hooks up to the glass on glass for my bong. And so I take vaporizer hits through the bong.
So this is our vaporizer.
It used to be a fish aquarium.
It starts here. It's a nice quartz banger. Heat this up until we're at the proper temperature. We do our dabs, and we have a nice little carb cap, a glass carb cap. Now this has a hole in it, so when I put it on here, it holds most of the smoke in, and it goes through here as a catcher. In fact, you can see there's quite a bit of oil in there from us dabbing. It goes across there, all the way down, across, and then up through the bubblers.
Looks like
a
some
whole
smoke's
bunch of
caught in the water.
percolators, and then up here to the top, and then there you go.
Nice.
Looks like some smoke is caught in the water.
Yeah.
So
Well,
really,
we just changed the water last night, but we have some guests here, so we've been doing a lot of dabs. So
it's nowhere near what it would be if you were just combusting and getting plant material and shit in there.
oh yeah, no. The nice thing about it is the wax that collects in there. We can do a little quick ethanol wash, purge it, and smoke it again. It's no big deal.
There's some nugs, hog.
Hell yeah.
Get some nice CBN oil, great for sleeping when you have or severe muscle pain.
I mix it with coconut oil and a couple other things and make a topical lotion with it.
The phone's in there.
Yeah. Get it. So what other? I'm trying to think what else as far as gifts go. Just a Home Depot gift card. There's a million and one things that Aquaponic people could use. Give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry about that.
It's all right. So you still pressing a bunch of stuff, Hog?
Oh yeah, everything I can get my hands on.
Nice. Yeah, I think that would be
Which
like the only way that I could do like a straight up like pin vaporizer situation, because I do want something like this, but that I can travel. Obviously, this has got to be plugged into the wall, so that's not very portable at all. So I still want to find something that I feel like, but I still wanted to do flower. I think that's ultimately what I still want, because I still love flower. And I don't have a press, or else I'd probably be able to do that. So if I could find something that I felt like would work good, so I might have to check out your pins and see how they do. They're pretty cheap though too. So
yeah, that was the only downfall I hadn't. I didn't see on this pin was an attachment for flower to vaporize it. but I
Honestly,
know they do make a flower pen as well.
yeah, I've seen a couple of flower pins, but I've never seen any that actually like vaporize. They all end up combusting on all the tests I've seen, and all the ones that I've been able to find, like that friends have and stuff like that. I've only had a couple of friends have one that had like an interchangeable one, like you could put a flower, like it had a different top on it, but it just lit it on fire. It was just like smoking a metal joint. Like there was really no, I mean, you open it up, it was just ash inside. Not
One
like,
vaporizer that I use and I really enjoy it. It's called the Magic Flight Launch Box. It's probably like a little small box that's maybe 3x2x1, and
yeah.
it comes with a little glass stem and a little battery. You press in the battery, and it basically lets you exactly control how hot the temperature gets in there, you know, and lets you customize your draw. And it comes with a little book that explains exactly how to do it and whatnot. And once you get used to it, it just becomes second nature. You know, you start hitting it exactly how you want to, and it doesn't combust the flower. And it actually comes with, it doesn't come with it, but you can also get these little attachments where it's like the little skillet is what they call it, where you can use concentrates as well.
See, that's almost like this pen.
I bought a Magic Flight lunchbox back in the day, and that was one of the first personal vaporizers that existed for flower that like ever existed on the market. I think I bought that might have even been 10 years ago now.
Yeah, it's a really good product. Yeah, I probably bought mine about 4 years ago.
I definitely saw them, like when I was researching stuff, I saw the vape slide and the magic box and the Snoop's pin and the, you know, was a whole bunch of different pins. And even here, and this is probably like 2 years ago, they had the Easy Go pin and I'm trying to think, there's another like gold colored one. I can't think of the name of it right now, but there was a number of them that I ran into, but that Magic Flight Box one, I definitely know has been around for a while. I see it. I think it was the first one that I saw. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I saw it. Let's see, it would have been about
the first mobile vaporizer that I can remember on the market, at least in Philadelphia.
I want to say it was like 2010 or so that I saw it, which would have been about.
No, they've been around way before that. They've been around since at least the early 2000s.
They could have been. That's just the first time I saw them was at a head shop in Eureka. Okay.
I'll tell you something I've liked as far as for vaporizing flower that was gifted to me by Vape Fiend, Dope Fiend, Vape Fiend in the UK, was the Iolite. And I still have it, and it still works. And it's not the best vaporizer in the world, but it's portable. It's like the size of a cell phone, or like it looks kind of like it's got a plastic. It's made out of this hide, that ABS plastic or whatever it is. And they had some issues with them, when they came out, but overall, I think it was more aesthetics with anything. But to this day, it requires nothing except butane either. I put quintuple refined vortex butane in there, and I click on it. It takes 2 or 3 clicks. You let it heat up for about 5 or 10 minutes, and you can draw on a full chamber for 20 to 30 minutes, and you're plenty medicated when you get done. And I found it saves me. I use about 1/3 of the flour than I do rolling joints. So, a lot of people go, "Oh, it's not like smoking a joint." No, it's not, but it does the job, and you use 1/3 of your stash.
Absolutely.
By using it, because but it's real nice. They used to sell for around $250, $300, but now I notice when I just every once in a while go look on one of the eBay or Amazon, you can probably pick one up for $100 to $110, and they use that electrostatic click just like an outdoor grill. And it clicks up. It's got a nice chamber in there. It's got a pin that it all comes apart, so you can clean it. You can buy real inexpensive. You can buy the parts that come apart. All the new chamber. You can buy new stems. You can buy the new heating pin. Pretty cool stuff. Anyway, I had to inject that since y'all got on to vaping flower and something like for Christmas. Wouldn't cost you an arm and a leg, and somebody'd be real happy to get a nice box with an iolite in it.
No batteries?
No batteries at all. Nope, never.
So use it after the thermonuclear electromagnetic blast?
All it does, it's just like when you go out to your grill to turn on your gas grill.
Yeah.
And then you use butane. So you click it, it lights the butane, it heats up the chamber, and it actually vaporizes.
Sounds pretty clever.
It's really freaking cool. And for, when I got mine, it was Vape Fiend gave it to me for half price. And the forum, at the time I was administrator at the Grow Report, which is now closed. It was also based out of Amsterdam. But it was an official website for the dopefiend.co.uk podcast network, which is still up and running. The Dope Fiend podcast is still up and running too. Pretty cool bunch of people, man. And the forum guys, they got Dope Fiend said he was going to give me one half price, and the people on the forum said, I'll give you $10. I'll give you $10. So the forum guys paid for. I never had paid a dime. They gave me money in my PayPal account, and I got it for free, and it's worked for over 10 years. 2 or 3 clicks, it's you can hear it fire up, and then once it's heated up, it stops igniting, and huh?
You have it there?
Not in my when I got out of when we stopped coexisting, I had to box up a lot of shit. So I've been needing to get into it. I think it's over here underneath all my guitars and amplifiers. I just haven't been able to get motivated to move all my freaking guitars and amplifiers and dig through all that shit. But yeah, I've got it. I'll show it to you guys soon, because it's not like they're gonna be gone. It's a company out of Ireland that made them, and they were really cool. It's really cool. It fits right in your pocket. You can take the stem off and leave the chamber together, and it's like about this big, like a cell phone, And then the wick you can make about this long. They used to have a problem with they get a little bit hot, but I never had that much of a problem with it. It's like it works, and there's always going to be a drawback, somewhere. The stem, you can keep buying stuff and elongating the stem though too. That was what I was like. The stem there's like a male and a female end of the stem, and it screws in like a plastic dart. How you darts, like cruising like that, and it's like I said, you can still buy parts, and that's the interesting thing. You can still buy all the parts that come, the stem and the chamber and the heating piece and all that. So
that's cool.
I'll dig it out. I plan on doing the cleanup of the music area this week. I've been meaning to do it the last 2 weeks, and I haven't got to it yet. We had a testimonial contest for the 12 Days of Christmas at the website. We're giving everybody that wrote a testimonial about how they've been helped by ILGM or how some of the genetics that we sell could help them. I had them all write testimonials and essays, and we're picking 12 out to give them all a Christmas present. So I've been busy with that, because once I got that started, I had to follow through. So yesterday, or was it today? I don't know. I'm so brain dead. I spent about 6 hours reading all of them, and trying to decipher them, and figure out what's going on. So that kind of monopolized a little bit of my free time yesterday. It was fun though. A lot of heartfelt stuff. It was nice.
Awesome.
On the note of Christmas, anyway. That's why I got. If you go to the website, I got a Santa Claus outfit on, because I'm giving away all kind of shit.
Awesome. Does anyone else have any other gift ideas or anything from the last year?
There you go. Oh, a trellis. That's one thing we didn't talk about. A lot of people, if you like to do scrogging, you can get like the plastic trellis, or I like the string ones, even though I cut mine pretty regularly, but they're not too much. Like $15-20 for a decent sized trellis, especially for somebody growing indoors that wants to do a training or scrog setup, any type of net really. But if you go to a grow shop, they usually have the pre-packaged trellis, which are really easy to just slap up and able to use. And it's always handy to keep plants tied down, especially if you're growing indoors. you know, and need to save some space. So it's another handy one.
I've also been using the cloth pots a lot, and they have been wonderful. That's another great gift for someone who grows indoors because they don't get root bound. They can, but I haven't yet to do it, and they're great.
Cool.
That's for you non-aquaponics growers. Although Dummy's cut up a bunch of those pots to make his dual root zones. He's buying Dummy's he's adapted some systems where he uses those big round lids with the like the 8 or 10 inch net pot built into the top of the lid, like for a 5-gallon bucket, and then he fills that with. Then he made cloth pots with like a light cheesecloth, like a jiffy pellet the roots could go through. So that's the bottom. That's his layer above the aquaponic system, and then he fills that up with the medium, which I think he's been using Ocean Forest and Happy Frog because he had a bunch of it in the store, and that's his top zone in those big pots like that. And he used a whole bunch of cloth pots and cut them apart to make them. You know,
I think you could use cloth. I've used a cloth pot, and I've used a cloth like shopping bag. And somebody's got one there. So the only thing I would say about that is if you're going to do a root zone with anything cloth, whether it's a bag or a pot like that or any of them, is that they will wick more than a standard pot. So you'll need to do less of a soil layer and more of a media layer on the bottom. So
Absolutely.
that you're not constantly wicking.
And this is a 10-gallon.
You could probably take one of the cloth pots, since Marty, you're looking at it. Since you see the roots don't grow through that. So I would think that doing your dual root zone, you could just pop some holes in the bottom of that right there, then put your hydroton or your clay medium that you're talking about, you know, that you submerge, right? And then put a layer, but you could put just pop holes in the bottom of that, couldn't you? And the roots would find their way into the aquaponics.
Yeah, you definitely could, and I've definitely done that. The only thing is that I'm saying is that you'll still need. I put media on the inside of the pot as well,
right?
And I put more media in cloth pots because they wick more than a regular pot. So
they wick around the outsides.
Right. You have to. You just have to have more media inside the pot. Have a larger media layer and a smaller soil layer, so that you have more of an airspace in between there, so that it can breathe a little bit without just constantly wicking, or else your soil layer on the top will stay really wet and probably go anaerobic and cause you some issues.
Right. That makes sense because of the sides. Yeah, you don't have that with a nursery pot. You don't have that issue of it being wet on the sides. And you're right, the whole thing could become wet all the way up near the end, and
Yeah. So I switch it over.
The roots, after a while, if you use these pots long enough and reuse them, the roots will end up starting to pop out of the bottom of them.
Yeah, they will for sure.
Roots are tenacious things.
Oh yeah, people they go, oh, I don't want to use this because I use 2-inch, 3-inch, 3 3/4, and 5-inch net pots. Okay, and I have people say you can't use a 2-inch net pot. I said bullshit. When that root decides to go through that net pot, it don't matter about that net pot. That net pot costs 15 to 20 cents, and that root's got enough. That net pot is not going to restrict that plant from growing, man. It'll destroy it.
Root doesn't even know that net pot's there.
Yeah, it's like, it's funny. Now, I like the 3 3/4 because I found that you don't need a giant net pot with a bunch of medium in it for hydroponics, because the roots aren't in there. You know, you just got a bunch. Now you just got a lot of extra pebbles you got to worry about. And I don't care how careful you are. You know, we all know if you use expanded clay pebbles that those some bitches are going to get knocked over sooner or later, and you'll be up down there on your hands and knees picking all that shit up. So I went from the 5-inch to the 3 3/4 or even 3 inches, plenty for a 1-cycle cannabis plant, especially clones, because in general, clones end up being a little smaller than from seed, at least the way I do things, so. That's it. Yeah, that's no, I don't know. We're rambling. I'm rambling on now. You guys got me.
No. So I really like my I got a pure presser rosin press this year. And it's really nice if you're looking for something commercial scale. Something you can do an ounce on at a time, 50 plus grams at a time. Really is the better way to go. I've been able to press over 30 grams of rosin at a time from bubble.
What's the price?
So, what's up?
Price wise?
Oh, it's around $6 grand.
$6 grand. Okay. So we're talking to you guys that really, really love your mate and really want him to smile on Christmas morning. Yeah. And you got an extra $6 grand and don't need a new car.
Maybe you love yourself.
Maybe you love yourself a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have a rosinator for sale soon. I need to get me about $6,500 for a recreational press. That would actually be awesome.
Well, if you know someone with a press, getting them rosin bags, definitely something to think about. Trying to think if there's anything else. Microbial inoculants, education, books.
Books are great.
Teaming with microbes, teaming with fungi.
Yeah, Jeff Lowenfeld.
Teaming with nutrients.
Teaming with microbes, teaming with nutrients, teaming with fungi, like Marty said. Those are really good books if they're just getting started, trying to understand how this shit works. Ed Rosenthal has great books. Jorge Cervantes has really good books.
My favorite. I got all his books.
Yeah, Jorge Cervantes is going to be on the show later this month. He's definitely higher up on the food chain as far as knowledge. He's been around for forever. I know his early videos and books were some of my earliest education. I'm super stoked to have him on.
I'm gonna have to wear my Santana shirt again that night. I got this at the Santana concert that last year.
There you go.
Yeah, man. It says out Corazon. It's like love. It means love.
Education is definitely one of the better things to give someone. So, any books or DVDs by those guys.
Yeah. Was it Greg Green? Didn't he another one? I've heard a lot of people say when I bring up Jorge Cervantes, they always throw Greg Green at me. But I never bought his book, so I don't know. You didn't mention him, so I was just asking what you thought.
I was trying to think if there's anything else. Good new pair of trimmers. Everybody always needs trimmers.
Oh yeah, somebody was talking about really nice Japanese trimmers. Here's mine.
Yep.
And these have the nice machined blades on them. They're actually concave, and they are sweet.
So there's a bonsai company that basically has a pair of trimmers. They're basically Fiskars, but they're curved and they're much better metal.
Yeah, these are $65 right here.
Fiskars titanium aren't too bad. They're a little bit longer, but. Yeah, I don't know. I went out to.
Got a great friend of the forum.
Oh, I know what you could buy.
Forum is listening,
Awesome.
and he actually recommends a few things himself. And I thought I would bring them up. I'm not sure if I came in late on the conversation, but
perfect.
Bob31 on the forum was saying the Inkbird hydrometers. They're like $12 on Amazon for curing. And they'll fit in just about any jar, and also the 62% Bovita packs.
I like 58% better than 62, but you should have both.
Absolutely.
And they're about, what are they? There's like $12, right? Isn't that what it is, David? $12 for like 10 or 12 of them?
Actually, I think those things are a little bit cheaper than that, and you get quite a few more of them. I think they're like a 20 pack, something like that, for
They're not cheap.
around
Though,
$10.
really. I mean, they're not super cheap, but they're not. They're worth it. I was trying to, that night we had all that problem with Ed Rosenthal. I was trying to talk with him about that, but we couldn't get a conversation going about it because of all the feedback and stuff. So I'm waiting for that so I could show him, because I don't think he knew what the Bovita was, which is you don't need to measure because it's a dual. It moistens it if it's too dry, and it dries it if it's too moist. It's an interesting thing, and it works. And you just have to decide on what you have to. I don't know how you're going to do it anyway, but your own way. Decide on how you want it cured and which percentage works better for you. I also think that the way you choose 58 or 62 would be whether if you're in a real humid climate like I am, 58 I think is better than the 62. Maybe if you're in Arizona in a real dry climate, then the 62 might be perfect for you. I think that's something you have to experiment with. And it was developed for doing high dollar cigars and humidors and stuff like that is how they developed this. But now they're doing a full-blown cannabis marketing thing. They're big into this, and they're trying to make their products better and better so that cannabis users, medical users can have their cannabis at the exact right percentage of humidity to store it and keep it fresh. So it's pretty cool company. If you haven't.
And I want to correct myself. They're $14.99 for a 10-pack.
Right. So I figured out $15-16, but it's worth it. You throw it. I used the small pack. I don't know what size they are. You just got to watch that because they got real big packs. And then they're small. You can kind of tell if you look common sense, you look at how many you get for the price. But the little small packs are like the size of a tea bag. Like before you take it out, like a Lipton tea bag, and you throw it in a quart jar, a mason jar. And once you got it dried, you throw that in a mason jar, and you don't even have to burp it because it keeps it at the perfect minute. I still like to get into mine and test it and see how it's doing every couple of days anyway. But it seems to work. I've used it now 2 or 3 times, and it's an excellent stocking stuffer for your home grower in your life.
Cool, man. That's a great suggestion.
You got what else did Bob? Bob, by the way, is one of our new mentors. He's a new volunteer helping us out. He's a really nice guy and knowledgeable, good grower, friendly guy. And so he must be watching the show. I was picking on him. He says he goes to bed at 9:30, and he's on the east, all in the east too. So he's up past his bedtime, listening to all of us. So what else has Bob got there, David? So I'm sorry to cut you off about the Bovita, though.
No, we actually hit on pretty much everything that he's added on there too. But that was absolutely a good one, because even if you over dry something, it's nice to have these packs because you can throw them in and they will rehydrate your buds. So
that's right. That's right.
That's
an amazing product. Amazing product.
Old Fart Grows just showed me California just issued their first legal pot license on the state level.
Nice.
Here.
Somebody's got friends.
Yeah, someone's paid the right people.
I want to know who. I want to give money.
I'm sure you're gonna have to get
Bob
on.
said it's way past his bedtime.
So what do you have going on there, Brain Grow?
Not much, just the same old pumpkin experiments. I'm almost 2 weeks into flowering, so I am just kind of cruising into the end of the stress phase for my plants. So again, I'm just really looking forward to harvesting these buds. You know, it's supposed to be a nice purple strain, so I can't wait for those flowers to really start coming in. They're really pre-flowering hardcore. One of my third Ninja Fruit Pheno is still in veg, and it is got pretty heavy pre-flowers on it. So I don't know. I really want to put it into flower, but I don't have any room. I'm gonna have to do something because I'm running out of space for that one. It's getting pretty big, and it's doing awesome. That's one of the ones I have in dual root zone, so that one's just cruising along, you know. let's see what else. I made some capsules for my dad. I was telling y'all he has a stage 4 colorectal cancer, and I hooked him up with some THC capsules today. I made him some using Old Fart Grows' method of decarboxylation and then the coconut oil infusion.
Cool.
And when you opened up that jar, even when the coconut oil was frozen, boy, that smell was still just completely there. It was just, oh my God, it smelled amazing. I wanted to take some myself. But anyway, I was working on that, and I was just definitely wanted to shout out Old Fart for that method, for sharing that method with everybody, because it definitely works amazingly.
Right on, sir. Hey, thanks for the feedback. That's why I love sharing the recipe. It's the strongest medicine I have found, and when people like that need it. That's just so awesome to hear that.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely. He
right
should be taking the first one tonight, so I can't wait to hear what he says tomorrow. I told him, like, you should have no problem sleeping through the whole night without waking up once, and then wake up with the munchies. So.
Amy, on that same note, while we're on that subject, Amy, I've been giving it to her topically, and because she's got a childhood injury to a broke her foot, and she's got a chronic pain in her foot, and every time she comes home all nasty and mean, I hand her that jar and tell her to rub that on her foot, and she's been getting relief. And like I've said, we're estranged, so for her to compliment or give a positive kind of feedback on something that I gave her, yeah, that worked good, Tommy. That, as far as topically, I still haven't stuck it up anybody's ass, though, buddy. Just in case you're wondering, I know you're wondering.
But if you're timing, the sun will come.
We're working towards it. We're working towards it. It takes everyone a little bit of time.
Coconut oil suppositories, yeah.
The booty love comes with time.
He has to build trust with you first.
Buy me a nice dinner.
Oh, man.
So we have a guy from chat, and Indigo Grows. My wife uses her decarb method for all of our edibles, and the flavor is amazing. Thank you, Old Fart Grows.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And my mother also loves your medicine. It has been working great for her.
I love this.
We've been using it for several months. So
why we do this?
So we have a guy, Larry, asks, as a beginner, what is the best strains? Easy to grow strains for aquaponics. THC Bomb seems to be a really easy, heavy yielder. Bruce Banner, Warlock.
Doesn't that one hermaphrodite?
Bruce Banner?
Oh no, that's Jenner. Bruce Jenner.
Bruce Jenner.
Yeah, that one.
Jeez, I knew that was coming. Steve didn't.
Oh my God.
At first.
We can come out with a new strain. It'll have to be a little fruity.
It's really drippy, but it burns on you all the time.
It burns all the time, but it's really good.
Did you hear what David said? David said it'd have to be a little fruity.
Kind of backwards though. This plant would be amazing though, because it would be a male that turns into a female instead of a female that turns into a male.
Yes, that's what we need.
You need Jenners in your life. What are you talking about?
World-class genetics, right? World-class genetics.
Funny.
By the way, you can do that, just for the record, you can do that if you take a male plant and spray it with colloidal silver.
Yeah, like one branch.
Yep.
It
works good.
Into a female, just for the record.
That's how they make feminized seeds, isn't it?
Just don't spill any on yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yuck. Always wear gloves. Oh, that's something I thought of a while ago when y'all were. Here's another excellent thing you can buy for our growers, because they don't do this generally. And me being blind, you need to buy them safety glasses. A really nice pair of high dollar UV safety glasses, so they don't go blind like me from being inside 1,000-watt grow rooms.
Yes, grow room glasses and the gloves, the non-latex gloves that trimmers love to wear.
The glove.
There's
Absolutely.
a couple of different brands and stuff out there, but you can get them on a lot of different websites. That's another great thing to get for people. They forget that they run out of.
They're never going to buy them. They're 50 to 65, $100 for a good pair of UV glasses, and growers are never
Method
going to buy
7
them.
makes clip-on. So if you're wearing your big, your duck
Coke bottle glasses. You froze.
Yep, looks like we lost him. But yeah, he's talking about clip-on ones. So if you have prescription glasses,
Kind of a
you
thing.
can clip them right.
and you can wear them on whatever glasses you got. If you need medium length glasses for working in the garden, like some people need computer glasses, you can slip them on those glasses too. Because as you get older, like me, and obviously, with vision challenges like Roger has, a flip-up pair is the way to go.
What did you say? There's a company you recommended that make those?
Method 7.
Method 7.
And they're good standard grow glasses. They have the wraparound, very good. But for those of us who wear prescriptions, if you go to get prescription grow glasses, that's going to cost. And so you can do very well by simply having your regular glasses with these flip up, and all they are is the UV protection, the high quality UV protection and color correction. When you work, especially if you're working around HPS, they have different Method 7s. They have an HPS version where you're working around that orange light. And then they also have LED version. And both of them do a phenomenal color correction for those of us who can see color. I mean, they don't help my son who's colorblind. But yes, you can get those different kinds of glasses in flip up also from Method 7. I'm sure somebody else has them, but I have experience and my son has experience with the Method 7, and they were like $60, and they go from glasses to glasses to glasses.
While we're on that note, another really good gift if you're looking for someone that's doing aquaponics or even just cannabis growing or even regular vegetable gardening, say they're not even any of those. So you have a grandma or a parent or a father or whatever, is a microscope, a USB microscope, a 200x or a 400x or a 500x, because it allows you to see your compost teas and your lactobacilli and your other different compounds that you're working on, and see what your concentrations are, so you know if it's done or not, and really can help you speed things up a lot.
You're like $40 to $100 for that.
They're super cheap. You can get them online, Amazon.
Try and get one where it has a little stand with it, or be prepared to put it on the stand, because it's such a fine such a grand magnification that just the blood coursing through your fingers makes you safe so much you can't see what you're looking at.
Yep.
It's got to be rigidly mounted. So any kind of camera stand, or when they make those little desktop camera stands, are like 4 inches. Usually you can buy the camera and get the stand. I find when you buy stuff like that, find a kit. When you look at how much everything would buy to have what you need, if you get one of those cameras with a kit, even a little carrying case, maybe it'll save you from messing up the lens, and you'll get the tiny little desktop tripod and a cleaning cloth and stuff like that. So look for a kit when you're looking into those electronics, even cameras and stuff. But that's a cool thing.
Or if you have a child, if you have a kid that's or a nephew, a niece, neighborhood child that you happen to be positive role model for, whatever, I don't know.
Did you say grooming?
You're I don't know, I'm just trying to think of being inclusive here. Anyways, so
the parents have left after the porno section of the show, dude. We don't need to really talk about children right now.
Oh.
The parents left.
You're doing dabs,
so
allegedly.
Yes. So the microscopes are really awesome because they're super educational. They can put damn near anything underneath of them and learn something. Or find something cool. So that's a great option as well. If you want something for yourself that you can also use, that you have kids for their science projects, it can be a great justification for buying yourself a compost tea microscope or whatever, you know.
Looking for bugs.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying is use the kids as a justification to buy yourself some toys.
It took us a long time to buy the Xbox that way.
Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing my wife did, I think last year, was she bought me my entire stocking was full of rolling papers and lighters. Like that's all that was in there. It was
Cool.
like a year's worth.
That's pretty cool.
Blunt wraps you could do also. They like to smoke blunts. You could do a grinder. That'd be another cool thing if they like to roll joints. You get them a nice grinder.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get these element papers. They come, there's 300 papers in this one pack for about $4 or $5. Literally 300 wraps in this one thing right here.
Nice.
Yeah, I love Element Papers myself. That's my favorite brand.
Oh, they'd be in business. And it never hurts to have a nice platter to save your cannabis from falling off of the
I found works really good is the hors d'oeuvre trays. Like
Yes.
your pickles and olives and shit, because you can put your different strains of weed in that you've ground up. So if you've got some left, you don't mix them.
Lazy Susan.
These are
Lazy-
the ones I use, which are a lot like Elements, except for they don't have any glue on them. They're just rice papers.
Oh, like Club.
These are clubs. Yep.
Yeah, I used to use Club. You could just light them on fire and throw them in the air. There's no ash.
You
Oh, yeah,
guys,
nothing.
you guys are uptown. We used to just crush the end of a Coke can and put a couple holes in it with a safety pin.
Oh
I mean,
God.
we've been there, dude. I mean, hey, we've been out in the woods and not had no papers, you know. Nobody brought no papers.
Red,
Hey,
red
everybody,
rednecks.
everybody turns into MacGyver when you've got nothing else.
Well, I mean, hey, everybody
Have you
has
guys,
toilet paper roll.
You just haven't
have
been.
you guys seen some of these glass makers making a little glass Coke cans?
Hell yeah. You make all kinds.
Yeah, they're awesome.
You know a guy that would too if we asked him. So
Yeah, I saw a pipe made up like an old Pepsi can, like an old school.
Yeah, that's basically like it just looks like you know how you just kind of crush it down a little bit and poke the holes. That's exactly what it looked like. Like it was just, you know,
I've seen
like
the
a
dab
tribute to
rigs.
the old stoners method, you know?
Yeah,
so they need to make one out of a toilet paper roll too, right?
yeah. They had a Pokemon Go bong when I went searching. That was kind of funny. Oh, hey, here's a tip for you. If you go to the glass shop, a lot of times they have a section where they have ones with. I think I showed you guys this before. Maybe this is before we went live once, but you can see like this bong right here. See how the 4 is crooked? I don't know if you guys can tell or not, but the 4 doesn't line up right here. So it was in their defective section. So I got 50% off of this bong because somebody couldn't print straight.
Oh, that's hideous.
But hey, I was like, cool. But sometimes they had a whole section of them, and sometimes they don't sit right, or maybe they have like a little defect in the coloring or something. Maybe they just can't sell it. But normally they have like a cheap section you can go check out. And
Factory seconds.
yeah.
Yeah, see, I'm restrained from spending much money on a nice glass bong because I no matter how careful I am, I eventually knock shit over because of, my depth perception is off a little bit now.
I'm the same way, Roger. I just refuse to spend money on glass anymore.
I don't have one glass
pieces.
anymore. I'm
It just
drinking
breaks my
out
heart.
freaking raspberry glass where raspberry jam came in,
I dropped $70 on this, and that's probably about as much as I was willing to drop.
Well, that's a big one. You got something about big, giant bongs, don't you?
Another good gift is
I could just set it on my lap and hit it.
another good gift is if someone only has a one bong and they do dabs and bong, smoke with flower, get them a separate dab rig. Like you should have a separate rig for dabs and a separate rig for flower. You should not do them from the same rig because you can continue to recycle the quote unquote res from the
reclaim
dab rig, whereas you cannot from the other one. So, well, you can, but it tastes fucking awful and you shouldn't. So,
Are you
Like
talking
you can
about,
reclaim your dab, but but your flower rig is going to make everything a mess. So
Yeah, so if somebody, so that could be great, a dab rig for someone that doesn't have one that does dabs. Another great gift option.
dabs is always a good gift option.
Yeah, just more dabs, always good.
They have a lot of
Actually-
delivery services here in Oregon. I wonder if you could like call up and just have weed delivered to somebody's house. That'd be kind of cool.
Great stocking stuffer. Fits right in the stocking.
That's right.
It's one reason I love my pen. I don't think I've touched my dab rig in a few weeks. Haven't
I
needed
still
to because
prefer it off the glass, regardless. I pens are great and all for mobility. I still like it off the glass better.
absolutely the taste is completely different.
So what have you been doing, brain grow, as far as your grow?
You just asked me, man.
he already told you. He's in his second week of flower.
Right.
What have you been up to, Hogmaster?
Just doing my side-by-side White Widow auto compare with the Remo nutrients and the Nectar of the Gods. They're both turning out awesome. I don't think there's a loser either way. The Remo seems to be a lot taller, but it's starting to thicken up, and it's actually a few weeks behind the Nectar, and they started at the same time.
Interesting.
And I
Okay.
just started put my gold leaf into flower. Got it all nice and trimmed up, and she's very happy. Under 12 now.
Now, how
And
much
then
do you trim them back when you kick them into flour? Do you butcher them, or?
Well, you guys seen it last week, and it had all the big fan leaves on it and everything. Let's see if I can give you a little preview. I trim about 5 to 6 inches from the medium up, and as it grows, I just keep trimming. So it's got a good 5-6 inch between medium before the first branch.
And how much are you defoliating?
Not a whole lot. I don't like to trim out a lot at first whenever I put them into flower. Let's see here. Sorry.
There you go.
Voila. It's my gold leaf.
That's Robert Bergman's personal strain. It's a high CBD, high THC strain.
I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, we can see it. We can see it.
And then here is my Nectar of the Gods White
It's not an
Widow.
auto, is it?
Yeah, probably.
Is that an auto?
Could be.
Yeah.
And this is an auto also. So you can see the difference in the Remo and the Nectar of the Gods so far. There's about a difference in the two. This one here seems to be thickening up a lot. It's super duper frosty.
The auto dual root zone.
What was that?
Auto dual root zone.
Absolutely. I need to be trying that.
You ever see that guy grows pot cheaply?
Yeah.
He
Yeah, you're
works
talking to him.
a lot.
Yeah, that's right. That's what we've been experimenting with. David basically been growing a lot similar to the way I grow. Not totally, but he's followed like the Pro Mix idea. He picked up from me, and he's been helping me out so that we've got a lot of different benchmarks, and like we said, we've got a lot of new growers that are being very successful because it's so simple to grow in the Pro Mix with the
It's like a good idea for an auto because they always send down that crazy tap. So let it come in the pond, and then just buffer it at the end there, it looks like it make it pretty easy for an auto.
Yeah, this one here is ready to start being trained. I'm going to start probably training it tomorrow.
That's a sexy looking bush right there.
Yeah, see, that's what Neil from Grow Spot Cheaply does. He'll bowl them out like that. It does very gentle, very, very low stress training at the first beginning, and then he lets the thing pop. And he's grown some beasts like pounders of autos.
Oh yeah. But yeah, it's a beautiful plant. I can't wait for it to start doing its thing.
No, that's the gold leaf though, right?
Yes.
That's not an auto there. That's a gold leaf, feminized.
Correct. Yeah, that's a feminized.
Yeah, but Tommy didn't realize that.
Yeah, and then
Gold
these
leaf,
two
right?
back. There's your auto. It's just practically one giant.
Get that joke.
Yeah, the gold leaf is crazy, man. In fact, when people buy seeds at ILGM right now, when you go to check out, they offer you a 2-for-1. They go 50% off on gold leaf. I think it's $79 for 5 seeds, and they give you them for $35 or $39 if you buy something else.
Cool.
I got something to show you though. He was talking about he's growing. Were you growing the gold leaf? Which are you growing that in the Nectar of the Gods or what?
Actually, I'm using the Remo on it.
On Remo? Well,
yep.
But here's something interesting, guys. All right, as I was saying earlier, Nectar of the Gods will send you a whole nutrient regimen for grow. I don't know how many grows you get. Do you? David might be able to tell you a little more about that because he turned me on to this special. But this is I've never opened this box, so I'm going to open the Nectar of the Gods box and see what they sent me. And holy smokes!
And here's 2 OG Skywalker OGs.
Oh, little babies.
That I'm doing in a 15-gallon.
Wow.
So that should
Look
be
at
a
this,
fun
guys.
little experiment.
Okay. I can't. Well, you know what? This is where it sucks being blind. Check this out. All right, now here's a box with 6 bottles of nutrients and stuff from start to finish in here. Looks like a quart. Oh, there's David's. All right, same kind of box. And then there's this bottle and this bottle. David might be able to tell you what those are, since I'd have to go get some light and read them. And then there's a little bottle here, and then some powder. So let me see. Maybe I'll get my flashlight. Maybe I can figure it out. You remember what they are, David? It's pretty neat.
Yeah, they're also sending the Easy Tea by Cultured. It's a bloom tea. It's an instant microbial.
Is that what's in the powder package?
Yeah.
That's right. There's a tea they sent you. There you go. Yeah, that's what this is. All right, so that's what that is.
It seems to
right
work,
there.
but I'm not completely convinced of it yet because the nutrients are pretty much doing everything. It's another test I'm going to have to pull off to see if there's a difference in it.
I don't know. I think recharge works a little better.
Yeah, either that or I feel like you're better off brewing your own worm tea from your own worm bin.
Absolutely.
That's another thing that I do as well. That'll give you pretty much, mostly everything you need as far as microbial life for your soil food web.
Especially if you can culture local microbes.
And
yeah, exactly. That's another thing that I use with the Korean natural farming, the indigenous microorganisms. It teaches you how to do that as well.
I was thinking another good Christmas present that's fairly cheap, one of the vacuum sealers for storage. If you store, I personally like to store my stuff in jars, and I have an attachment, and I suck all the air out of the jars, and I store everything.
Oh, wow. Well,
in those, so that work really well.
This is pH up. They send you a bottle of pH up. This is a foliar spray. This bottle here. And I don't know, David, what this, I can't read. It's too shiny in my face or my eyes, what this bottle here is. It's clear, smaller bottle.
Oh.
Yeah, that's the SLF 100.
Amino acid.
Oh, that's amino acid. Then okay. Well, so they're giving, and it's all supposed to be organic. And then I've got this is 0.50 Demeter's Destiny. Yeah, I wish I'd been better prepared, but the last minute Christmas show, I figured this would be cool though, because this is a lot of money. This stuff is not cheap, and it's a good product. I haven't used it yet, but everybody that's used it, I've never seen anybody say anything bad about it. But when I did go to look at it to try to buy some once, I thought it was a little expensive. But when you're getting a plant that's worth $1,000 to $2,000 when you harvest it, expensive nutrients might not be such a bad idea. And then, but the fact that for $15 to $25, $30, depending on where you live in the country, and this comes from, I think, Oregon. I'm not sure. It cost me $29 to get this entire box of nutrients, which looks to me like I'll get to be able to grow several plants out of. And it's everything you freaking need. It's unbelievable.
I think,
but I never opened it. I was kind of waiting.
4 to 6 plants out of it.
Is that what you get, Dave? 6 plants?
I believe so.
So that's your average Joe homeowner grow now, or like if you got a 4x4 grow tent, you'll get a couple of grows out of this, because you shouldn't have more than 2 or 3 plants maximum in a 4x4 grow tent, because otherwise you're sucking up all the ventilation and they're going to have some issues, environmental issues and all. So, and 1 or 2 plants will yield just as much as 6 in a 4x4 grow tent if you take care of them right. So. But anyway, you get that's several hundred. That's a couple $100 worth of stuff if you bought it bottle by bottle. So you could get somebody a Nectar of the Gods, sample kit for Christmas too. I don't think they'd be upset with that.
Mammoth P does a free giveaway as well.
That's right. He said that you can get a hold of him and he'll send you a bottle too.
Yeah. So if you're on the cheap, you could write them and get a gift for your loved one if you're broke.
Well, that's what it was. Mammoth P said they would tell you where to go at a local grocery store. He said he'd tell you where to go to a local grocery store to get a free sample. But if you didn't have a local grocery store around, I wanted Cow. What was our man's name from Mammoth P? Colin. I was close. All right. So Colin said that if you were in a situation where you, like me, for instance, I'm an hour away from the closest grocery store, and that's the only one in the whole area. Some people don't even have that. And he said, so if you contact them and there's no grocery store in your area, then they will work out sending you a sample, which I thought was really nice and very generous. That their policy is to give you free samples through you going to your local hydro store and supporting them. But if you don't have one, they were willing to send you one anyway. Sorry to step on your Mammoth P thing there, Steve.
No, you're fine.
Thought that was important to let them know the difference. Bottom line is you can get a free sample, like Steve said, from Mammoth P. And you can probably get one from anybody if you call them up and ask them. Just about. It's just the size. You don't generally see somebody send you an entire box of nutrients you can grow 6 plants with. That's nice, organic and expensive line of nutrients to boot. So I don't see Mike doing that for anybody. He's always coming out telling them how excited we're going to be when we open that newsletter, but it's always costing us money if we want to try it out. So, of course, I agree with Steve too. It's great to to buy the thing if you want to judge it and tell somebody whether to use it, so you can have, so you're not biased one way or the other. If a company, even though I wouldn't do that, because I'm going to tell you how it is, even if I piss them off, if it's true, but I wouldn't want to, upset any companies, but we can't, if you want to be honest about it, you shouldn't be given a product, then you're expected to say something good about it. So, Steve recommends for all you guys out there that want to teach or, want to get free stuff, if you're going to rate it or be judging it against something else, you should pay for it. And that way, if you don't like it, you can say it sucks and not have any hard feelings with the guy that was nice enough to send you a box of stuff. I'm sure that a good grower can use anything out there on the market. That's something else. We got all these great products. We all love the basic products one way or the other. And you got your new stuff, your optic foliar and your mammoth pea and all this great stuff that's coming out that people are really identifying with. And then there we go again.
What?
Off in left field, you know.
They're fine.
But no, I'm off in left field. But so the bottom line is that it's nice to it's real nice that anybody will give you a sample pretty much this day and age. But if you're going to be comparing it to something else and writing about it, you should buy it, not be given to it. That way, if you want to give a negative review, you don't have to eat, crow from the owner or burn a bridge, because these guys know that there's a lot of competition out there. And if you buy it first and then you say you like it, it's a lot easier than to have it given to you and then say I don't like it.
Another good option if you're have someone in your life that's into aquaponics, get them a gift card to the local higher end mom and pop aquarium store. They'll have the gaskets, the pumps, and all kinds of stuff that they need for their aquaponics system. And you're supporting a small mom and pop local business, and not a chain. That could be another great option. I know that's where I got my start off. So
that's good. I have to give a shout out to Aquaponic Dummy, who has a fish store, way up there in Maine. I don't think he's doing much fish right now, but we hope you're listening, or hope you listen this week, and we'll give you a shout out. Happy holidays. We need to hear from you sometime soon, my friend.
Yep. So, all right. What about you, Roger? What have you been up to?
Well, I'm just finishing up we're having a contest on the website for the an ILGM for the 12 days of Christmas, and then I'm going to be going through Christmas. It's kind of sad time for me. My best friend, it's actually the anniversary of my best friend dying 2 years ago. And this last day or two, or tonight, and then I've been alone all year, and I'm going to get to go to my parents for Christmas. But other than that, I'm just trying to get some things, infrastructure done out here at the farm, because the one thing about being on this show since April 20th was that I got really motivated to get my greenhouse done, and I got a lot of infrastructure and clearing and weed pulling and stuff to do to get everything back the way it used to be. And I'm really looking forward to it. So that's what I'm up to, trying to be motivated and staying upbeat and getting out there and getting a little bit of something done every day, so that come springtime, well, I'll start early if I can get the greenhouse set up, but probably just use it conventional this year. So come springtime, I'm looking to have a bunch of nice videos for you guys showing you what I've got going out there. It's a lot of fun, and it's not that hard or expensive to learn the hydroponic system that I got out there. And then if it all goes to plan, I'll be making a section for aquaponics so we can try them out there. But since I'm in a less than legal state, as my friends here like to say, I will only be showing you vegetable growth. But you'll be astonished by what it is. And I personally, I'm a little cocky, so I think I'll be able to keep the fish alive. So, I know nobody keeps the fish alive at first, but I've actually had fish, so I was able to keep them alive. So I'm kind of going by that. Maybe I can keep the fish alive, but we'll see. I guess once nitrates are being deposited by plants into the water, it changes things. But.
Oh, we've been just getting purity medicinals off the ground. Tommy and I have been zipping around the conferences, shows, and cups, and 80 bajillion other things in the last week or two.
Picking mushrooms.
And picking some wild mushrooms. That was a lot of fun. Kind of teaching him and Dorian what's safe to eat and what isn't, and that kind of stuff. So that's been kind of cool. All kinds of neat stuff. We had some guests in from Canada. I don't know if they want to say hi or not. Hold on.
Hi, everybody.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. I'm here with my brothers here in the middle of the redwoods. I'm doing fantastic.
Yeah.
First time here in California, so a bit overwhelming with the beautiful scenery and, of course, my lovely brothers.
Brother from another mother.
Yeah, pretty much. We're fitting in pretty good. Working hard on our model. So get ready. It's coming out here probably within the next few days, and yeah, we shifted gears here in the last month or so, and our team has gotten very eager and aggressive, more so in the production and manufacturing end of the business model. We're eager to get to cash flow. That's our main objective today. As we grow, Steve has introduced nearly all of you guys. You have a wealth of network and relationships established in every state. Marty, I think you're on here. Nice to meet you.
Marty left.
Oh, did he? Okay. Sorry.
Get out of Kid Aggro.
Oh, yes, yes. I haven't reflown. So
You're actually stuck with me and David and Roger now because everybody else is going to bed or going to tend to kids.
yes, nice. So yeah, nice to meet you, Roger. I've watched you guys on the show. I've watched a couple of podcasts earlier when I got introduced to Steve last year. So yeah, it's a pleasure having you part of the industry. I've been more like Ken and more of the aquaponics into the farming and to the food aspect of it. And we shifted gears with our team in Canada over a year ago. So that's when I met Steve, and Charlie and him somewhat got married.
So you're part of the up and growing business then?
Yes, I'm one of the founders of Purity. So Charlie has been part of my model since 2012 with alternative farming solutions and just predominantly the food. He spent 2 years in Canada with us in 2013 and 14. We moved his family up there. He actually contracted at Lethbridge College. We contracted some space there to do some major research with his presence. Unfortunately, we had to do a little bit of a restructure, but we've regrouped and decided over a year ago, I think it was when Charlie and I was at Puerto Rico at Aquaponicos with Pedro Castro.
That's our new friend that just came to stay with Charlie, right?
Yes, yes.
The hurricane took out his farm.
Yeah. Yeah, I was there. We visited there in 2013 and 14. So that's where I met him, his brother, all of his family, his dad. They're a wonderful family. And so we actually helped sponsor his team, us as Purity Medicinals, to get him back into New Mexico. He's staying with Charlie. So we anticipate he's going to be helping us with our model as well as most of the industry representatives and players in each state that we all have networks with. So pleasure, Roger, to meet you.
That's great. Yeah, I'm still waiting on the slow motion movement of the Bible Belt politics over here. So.
Yeah, I know the politics are always going to be there. That's something we just got to get used to. It's a disruptive play, the cannabis, and we're getting the doors somewhat open to us. So we just got to strategically plan just to dominate those right markets where we're allowed to play, Roger.
You're right.
For now.
I've had job offers to pretty much all the markets too, but I haven't been able to leave here yet, and I'm still kind of hoping because we do have, as Steve and I discussed before the show, we have some people on the East Coast that do have some concerns, and like even a bug company up in that Steve has his personal bug species or something like that, but I'm still waiting for that. My parents are still alive. I don't know. Maybe it sounds weak, but I've had a hard time leaving because they've done so well for so long, and I just hate to go from here to the Northwest, and then something happened. And being in the Northwest, it's kind of weird, but
it's not weird.
It's gonna be hard to turn down when y'all get rolling. And if I have a job out there, I might come out there. What's
you're a grower, are you as well in your state? You grow right now, don't you?
Allegedly.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's more parts. That's what I'm saying. There's so many resorts.
I got a commercial hydroponic farm.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a certified grower with the USDA for vegetables. For vegetables, perfect. I grew for Whole Foods Market.
Ooh, nice. That's perfect.
I like to grow habaneros. I love peppers. Habanero. I grow habaneros and poblanos and stuff.
Our protocols will be a little bit more stringent in Whole Foods, but yeah, you're totally on topic of where our SOPs will be in our operating facilities too, with our food and cannabis.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the day because I've already got a facility. So, you know, if they ever get it going, you know.
Yes. Yes.
But I'll probably end up going to another state before they do it here. I may end up because I kind of got my. If things don't go well over the winter and reopening my greenhouse and getting things going the way I want to go for the coming year, I'll be leaving in spring or summer to come out west, probably. So.
Cool.
I'm not going to wait on the state to allow me to pursue something that I'm very passionate about, and I've got people all giving me an opportunity to come to work with them. So, you know, if that's ready, I'll be out there maybe. You know,
there's a win-win in there. We can all take cross shifts or such, right? There's always a win. Yep. And I can appreciate you wanting to stay there with your parents. I lost my dad at a very young age, so. Definitely stay by their side as long as you can. They'll be grateful for that, and no regrets.
Yeah, well, my dad will be 85 next month.
Wow,
and nice. My mother will be 81 in February.
That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's you know, so and they're still happy and going strong, and shoot, you know, they've been married 57, 58 years.
Oh wow.
No, 61 years. They've been married 61 years.
That doesn't happen that won't happen in our generation anymore.
No, I mean, my parents' marriage is longer than most people live, you know.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. So, you know, and they're lovely people. I was lucky to have good parents, and you know, they gave me too much freedom. That was my problem. they you know, I didn't get away with everything. Now I was brought up to be respectful, and you know.
Of course.
And of course, my father was in the Air Force, you know, but for 20 years. So, you know, the early part of our life, we were Air Force brats. So we kind of we had to toe the line to an extent through, but we, you know, because we learned responsibility at an early age, which is lost on children today, because they're always told yes, they're never told no, they're never spanked or anything. I don't want to really get into the spanking of children, but the thing is that we were brought up well and weren't beat. We were never beat or abused, but we learned respect at such a young age. When we got into our teen years, our parents let us do stuff.
Exactly.
We'd say we'll do this, and I want to go to a party at like 14 or 15, and we'll be in at 2 o'clock because we're at a party. And they'd say, okay, if you made it in close to 2 o'clock, you were good to go. So, you know, or even staying out all night, you know, to stay with a friend or something. It was never a big deal because we learned that responsibility, and kids don't learn that today. And the same way, as you said, people, it's too easy to just get divorced, you know, because nothing means anything to anybody anymore, you know.
It's broken, just throw it away, right?
So. Yep, that's right. That's right. Don't fight for don't work hard. Don't work hard. That's the thing. Nobody wants to work hard anymore for anything.
So that's where our efforts come in with the sustainability with the future generations. So
yeah, I love it. I love the whole plan. I mean, there's so many avenues for, and that company's going to employ a ton of people.
Oh,
because it's not just about growing. There's going to have to be a lot of infrastructure and people out there too. So it's going to be great for the economy, and like you said, the sustainability with the food, and then the purity. You know. That's good. That's going to be just an incredible business, I believe, you know.
And the science that we have on our team, I mean, the continuous innovation is going to be ongoing, and that's the exciting part. You know, you can speak about employees and such, but we don't really consider people employees. They're part of our team. They're part of all of our mission, and we're all like-minded and one big family. So it's going to be very exciting.
That's
Oh,
cool. Well, good to meet you.
Minions.
Yeah, more like minions. Puppets.
He's calling me a Muppet all day, Roger.
I wanted to do a quick plug, before I forget, Marty, his YouTube channel is AP Meds. His Patreon is also AP Meds. And then John was on earlier. He's a fish ganja guy. He is a fish ganja guy on YouTube as well.
And Purity, www.puritymedicinals.com. We are seeking seed investors immediately.
Well, there you go.
Or
Good
soon.
Old Fart Grows on YouTube.
Yep. So how about you, Roger? How do people find you?
Well, currently that's one of the things I say. I'm back up working on my network again. And I've been getting some motivation on that too. And stocking some stuff in the store. I'm getting ready to do a big push because right now is a real slow time, really. I mean, everybody's growing around the world, but overall, like on our farm, I'm at ilovegrowingmarijuana.com. I administrate that forum and help to mentor all the staff and the new members and all. And like I said, we have a real matured membership that have come in, and it's just amazing to get to work with 55-year-old new growers. I mean, it's just amazing to work with somebody my age that's never grown before because they were professional or something like that. So we do that, and that's David. That's what David and I met, and then David came on as one of our mentors, and then was later moved to being a moderator position, and he helps me out all the time. Well, he's like a right-hand man. Although I've got about 4 right-hand men in that place, and that's what I'm doing. Just trying to keep up with that. We got 882,000 page views per month right now. We're at the slow time. We were down from 950,000 page views, but that's what I was getting at. Right now it's a slower time in the cannabis forum, because a lot of people grow outdoors. It's winter time now, so things are slowing down a little bit. So I think I'm going to take the time and get ready for the spring, get my network so that by February or March, when people are starting to plan their grows, we'll have all these informational telephony networks that I wanted, for to have live support where you can call you or you can call me or you can call one of us and you can make an appointment and talk to us, and get live support. So we're going to be working on that. And that's about it. I'm right here in my studio. I'm legally blind and can't drive. So I'm in my studio probably 16 hours to 20 hours a day, every day. So that's me.
Nice. It's a pleasure to meet you, Roger. I'm sure we'll be speaking in the near future. So have a wonderful Christmas.
I'm going to try, and I hope to get out there very soon to see you guys.
Yes, a pleasure. Look forward to meeting you.
All right, and Hogmaster, you want some people to find you? All right. Still there? Okay. Well, I guess he had to go for a second. So, anyways, you guys can find me Ponics on YouTube, Ponics on SoundCloud. Every week here on Thursdays at 6:30 p.m. Pacific, we do our show. So, sorry we were supposed to have Super Thrive on this week. They had a last minute issue. They will be on in January. So, and yeah, thanks a lot, Melanie, for joining us. It was great to have her on the show. And yeah, thanks everybody for coming on. And we'll see you guys all next week. Take care.